This is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Welcome to Morning Mindset, where we're reading a few pages from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich and discussing those pages that were read. Today, reading pages 159 to 162. I invite you to join me in the reading and afterwards jumping into the room and joining the discussion. Let's get started, shall we? Chapter 9, Persistence. The sustained effort necessary to induce faith. The eighth step toward riches. Persistence is an essential factor in the procedure of transmuting desire into its monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of will. Willpower and desire, when properly combined, make an irresistible pair. Men who accumulate great fortunes are generally known as cold-blooded and sometimes ruthless. Often they are misunderstood. What they have is willpower, which they mix with persistence and place back of their desires to ensure the attainment of their objectives. Henry Ford has been generally misunderstood to be ruthless and cold-blooded. This misconception grew out of Ford's habit of following through in all of his plans with persistence. The majority of people are ready to throw their aims and purposes overboard and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. A few carry on despite all opposition until they attain their goal. These few are the Fords, Carnegies, Rockefellers, Edisons. There may be no heroic connotation to the word persistence, but the quality is to the character of man what carbon is to steel. The building of a fortune generally involves the application of the entire 13 factors of this philosophy. These principles must be understood. They must be applied with persistence by all who accumulate money. If you are following this book with the intention of applying the knowledge it conveys, your first test as to your persistence will come when you begin to follow the 6 steps described in the 2nd chapter. Unless you are one of the 2 out of every 100 who already have a definite goal at which you are aiming and a definite plan for its attainment, you may read the instructions and then pass on with your daily routine and never comply with those instructions. The author is checking you up at this point because lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. Moreover, experience with thousands of people has proved that lack of persistence is a weakness common to the majority of men. It is a weakness which may be overcome by effort. The ease with which lack of persistence may be conquered will depend entirely upon the intensity of one's desire. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in mind. Weak desires bring weak results, just as a small amount of fire makes a small amount of heat. If you find yourself lacking in persistence, this weakness may be remedied by building a stronger fire under your desires. Continue to read through to the end, then go back to chapter 2 and start immediately to carry out the instructions given in connection with the 6 steps. The eagerness with which you follow these instructions will indicate clearly how much or how little you really desire to accumulate money. If you find that you are indifferent, you may be sure that you have not yet acquired the money consciousness, which you must possess before you can be sure of accumulating a fortune. Fortunes gravitate to men whose minds have been prepared to attract them, just as surely as water gravitates to the ocean. In this book may be found all the stimuli necessary to attune any normal mind to the vibrations which will attract the object of one's desires. If you find you are weak in persistence, center your attention upon the instructions contained in the chapter on power. Surround yourself with a mastermind group, and through the cooperative efforts of the members of this group, you can develop persistence. You will find additional instructions for the development of persistence in the chapters on autosuggestion and the subconscious mind. Follow the instructions outlined in these chapters until your habit nature hands over to your subconscious mind a clear picture of the object of your desire. From that point on, you will not be handicapped by lack of persistence. Your subconscious mind works continuously while you are awake and while you are asleep. Spasmodic or occasional effort to apply the rules will be of no value to you. To get results, you must apply all of the rules until their application becomes a fixed habit with you. In no other way can you develop the necessary money consciousness. Poverty is attracted to the one whose mind is favorable to it, as money is attracted to him whose mind has been deliberately prepared to attract it, and through the same laws. Poverty consciousness will voluntarily seize the mind which is not occupied with the money consciousness. A poverty consciousness develops without conscious application of habits favorable to it. The money consciousness must be created to order, unless one is born with such consciousness. Catch the full significance of the statements in the preceding paragraph, and you will understand the importance of persistence in the accumulation of a fortune. Without persistence, you will be defeated, even before you start. With persistence, you will win. If you have ever experienced a nightmare, you will realize the value of persistence. You are lying in bed, half awake, with the feeling you're about to smother. You're unable to turn over or to move a muscle. You realize that you must begin to regain control over your muscles. Through persistent effort of willpower, you finally manage to move the fingers of one hand. By continuing to move your fingers, you extend your control to the muscles of one arm until you can lift it. Then you gain control of the other arm in the same manner. You finally gain control over the muscles of one leg and then extend it to the other leg. Then, with one supreme effort of will, you regain complete control over your muscular system and snap out of your nightmare. The trick has been turned step by step. You may find it necessary to snap out of your mental inertia through a similar procedure, moving slowly at first, then increasing your speed until you gain complete control over your will. Be persistent, no matter how slowly you may at first have to move. With persistence will come success. If you select your mastermind group with care, you will have in it at least one person who will aid you in the development of persistence. Some men who have accumulated great fortunes did so because of necessity. They developed the habit of persistence because they were so closely driven by circumstances, they had to become persistent. There is no substitute for persistence. It cannot be supplanted by any other quality. Remember this, and it will hearten you in the beginning when the going may seem difficult and slow. Those who have cultivated the habit of persistence seem to enjoy insurance against failure. No matter how many times they are defeated, they finally arrive up toward the top of the ladder. Sometimes it appears that there is a hidden guide whose duty is to test men through all sorts of discouraging experiences. Those who pick themselves up after defeat and keep on trying arrive, and the world cries, "Bravo, I knew you could do it." The hidden guide lets no one enjoy great achievement without passing the persistence test. Those who can't take it simply do not make the grade. Those who can take it are bountifully rewarded for their persistence. They receive as their compensation whatever goal they are pursuing. That is not all. They receive something infinitely more important than material compensation. The knowledge that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. There are exceptions to this rule. A few people know from experience the soundness of persistence. They are the ones who have not accepted defeat as being anything more than temporary. They are the ones whose desires are so persistently applied that defeat is finally changed into victory. We who stand on the sidelines of life see the overwhelmingly large number who go down in defeat, never to rise again. We see the few who take the punishment of defeat as an urge to greater effort. These, fortunately, never learn to accept life's reverse gear. But what we do not see, what most of us never suspect of existing, is the silent but irresistible power which comes to the rescue of those who fight on in the face of discouragement. If we speak of this power at all, we call it persistence, and let it go at that. One thing we all know, if one does not possess persistence, one does not achieve noteworthy success in any calling. I am going to stop there. Persistence. How easily do you give up? Desire and fear determine your persistence. Are you running away from something or running towards something? I like that Napoleon Hill actually said that sometimes it was out of necessity that somebody learned persistence. And I think that my fire was lit out of fear of having to go back to working in offices and for companies that just didn't work out for me personally. And then we have Matt. Welcome, Matt. I feel like my persistence is determined by my curiosity and discipline. Interesting point. Interesting point. And Odette, I believe persistence is ongoing. It doesn't stop if all the desires are not met. I agree with the discipline factor as well. I think that's what Napoleon Hill is pointing out to us, is that persistence is continuous until we reach. Hello, Omar.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'd like to see you, and you're. There you are.
Go. Yeah. Let me give it a second here.
There you are. My goodness. Well, that was an interesting way to wake up.
Yeah, something like this. Again, failure is only part of success, and you make me feel good about my failure because I failed, and it didn't feel so good.
Yeah,
it really did. I wanted to give up. I wanted to cry. I was so embarrassed, so ashamed. But look at me now. You see this smile?
Yes, we do. Yeah. Smiling bright.
You know why? Because after pain comes relief. After failure comes success. And I'm experiencing success now.
Gotcha.
Even though it has not really fully arrived all the way, I have enough evidence that it is on its way. I have the evidence, Charlene. I feel great. This morning, it's good to see you. Hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I haven't been around. You saw me on the sideline,
I did. I saw you come in quite a few days, and you haven't joined us in the discussion.
I was, Sean helped me out a little bit. Is he in here? Yeah.
Not yet.
He encouraged me because, I really felt like, I've really embarrassed myself that I didn't have any value. I didn't have any content, that I've been in the trees too long, that I can't express myself eloquently enough because I haven't been working in marketing and all that. And I've been kind of sending for so long that, it's like my life is totally different from all you successful internet marketers. And here I am making a total transition from being up in the tree where I'm king.
Yeah.
I move mountains, big oaks. Tremble to my feet. I make trees tremble. But on the internet, here I am a little scared pussy.
Yeah.
But now, I'm back. I got this.
Okay.
And that's only because of you. I got to give you the credit.
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You came on here with the audacity to read, think, and go rich. Who does that?
Okay.
Look at
How about you showed up? You showed up, right? And you listened and you made your decisions to move forward.
When the teachers is ready, you're the evidence that they do come through. True? Okay. And see, Charlene, that was why I never really had a job before. That is why I only done what I wanted to do because I read Think and Grow Rich like 52 years ago.
Yeah, you said you'd read it quite a while ago.
I only read it once. I don't even think I understood it. But I thought I got so cocky. I got enough understanding that I am not going to work for nobody. I'm going to be in my own business no matter what. And I've only had a job 2 years. And that's why I can't get no, what they call this stuff? Social Security.
Right.
I don't have enough credits. I got to continue to work for myself. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do like what I planned to do was, I didn't want Social Security anyway. I wanted an estate. So anyway, persistent. So I've been persistent. I've done it a long time. And now
you've just kept going. And so when you were suddenly finding yourself in a new direction, starting from scratch, you have to learn to crawl before you can walk before you can run, and anything new, it can be scary.
Right.
You recognize that and were able to move through it, right?
Right.
Outstanding. So glad you're here, Omar.
Yeah.
So glad. Yeah. Evidence of persistence.
But let me tell you the good part. Okay. Because, I don't want to change the topics too much because this is a disruption
You
here.
know I will bring you back to the topic.
Okay, well, let me keep it relevant then, okay? What
Okay.
love got to do with it? What love got to do with it?
Okay.
Oh, yes. Persistent. Because I don't know. Well, this is still relevant to Think and Grow Rich. And we're talking about the law of attraction, vibrational. Because you got to have that. You got to.
What
What
you're
causes
thinking
you to
is what
be
you're
persistent?
attracting.
Yeah. So what
What you're
caused you to be?
thinking.
Yeah. What caused you to be persistent? Is it love? Is it your why? What caused you to be persistent when you get weak? What make you want to get up when you've been knocked down?
It
It's
depends
hard.
entirely on the intensity of your desire. The intensity of your desire to attain your definite purpose,
Mm-hmm,
your ultimate
mm-hmm,
aim, the goal you set forth, the
mm-hmm,
dollar amount that you decided you wanted. How
mm-hmm,
intense is that desire
mm-hmm,
is
mm-hmm,
what determines how
mm-hmm.
persistent you will be
Yeah,
to get it.
right. Your why? Why you persistent? I'm gonna get up. I got it. My daughter is counting on me. I'm still the greatest dad in the world. She
Yep.
think I
You
am
want to
rich.
keep that title,
Yeah,
right?
so I gotta get back up even when I don't want to. But
Mm-hmm.
because she'll say, because she know that I keep a wallet full of money in the trees, and over here I'm not making anything, and she still like her UGG boots and her North Face, and she love her brands, and she's
Right.
used to her daddy giving her the card or $100 to go shopping every weekend. You know what I'm saying? So how do I tell her, or even Christmas times, after the trees have stopped being so abundant, and I'm relying on the internet. I'm not making any money, and I'm like, oh, Lamaria, just wait for me. Then, or my grandchildren, it's like, the internet is working, it's working, it's working, but then it failed again. I look stupid. I feel crazy, and everybody's looking at me like, why are you gonna do the trees anyway? But we're talking about persistent here, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was saying that, if I'm going to, after seeing people like you and seeing all these others, seeing the tree world or my world here in Detroit, where everybody's in the Rust Belt or,
Right.
even trees is crazy. I'm crazy for climbing trees at 62. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's my own business. But, my phone is blowing up here. The trees are calling me. I'm just blabbing on anyway. But the yeah. Okay. Let me get out of here, Charlene. I love you. I appreciate you. I
Thank
can
you,
go
Omar.
on, and I gotta
Thank you,
go, man. I've been
Omar. I
so
love
excited.
your
But I want to tell you
enthusiasm.
about the love. What love got to do with persistence?
Yeah.
What makes you get up? What's the why? And it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense, and it make everything come together. It's the magic. It's the glue. And she's my dream girl.
Outstanding.
Awesome. Yeah. She's
Outstanding.
got to see a picture. I don't have a picture the next time I see you. All
Okay.
right. Thanks. I'm going to listen in. I'm going to take these calls and I'll talk to you guys later. Somebody else jump in here.
Fantastic.
Talk to Charlene.
Fantastic.
Where your girl at? Where she at this morning?
Which one?
Your co-host.
Oh, there's a couple of them out there. They'll get in here shortly.
Oh, yeah. Great. All right. Thanks, Charlene.
Good
Love
to
you.
see
God
you,
bless. Have a
Omar.
great week.
Bye-bye, dear. Great conversations happening to the side. I want to welcome everybody. Matt, Michael, you've just come in. Jacqueline, um, Crystal, Spirit Centric. Good to see you here. Robert, Leslie, Pete, Jennifer, good to see you. Eric Green, glad you're here. Cinema Aloha. Cinema Aloha. How's that? Welcome, everybody. So we read a portion of chapter 9 about persistence. And then Omar got on and shared with us that love is his why. And that is what has kept him going over the years with his tree business, and also helped to keep him going in a transition to a new business to get him through. He has that persistence, and it's born out of necessity, and it's born out of love. And Matt, love equals trust the universe and begin working toward it persistently. Okay. Coffee is my why. Sometimes, Jennifer, coffee is my why of that is exactly it. That's why I made it to this point this morning, right? So what's interesting to me about the reading is, so he's telling us that we have to have persistence. It may be step 8 toward riches, because you can't have it without the desire, but that's what it's based on, is the intensity of your desire. Every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Today I know how to learn from failure. There was a time I didn't. There was a time that failure stopped me. It was seen in my eyes as evidence that I shouldn't move any further toward what my goal was. Failure along the way, any mistake along the way, any hiccup, any pushback from other people, those were indicators to me. Or I tried and I didn't make the goal the first time. That was a big one. I didn't go back and try again or try to learn from it. Instead, I viewed it as the wall. Today, I know how to learn from that and turn it to an advantage, or to soothe and salve the wounds and crawl up in the middle of the bed for a little while and take care of what needed to be taken care of emotionally and then move on from it. But that's today. That's after much experience and teachings from other people. Good morning, Ha. So good to see you. How are you, my dear?
I am fine, thank you. Good morning, Charlene. I miss you, and I miss the talk. I miss everything.
You have been missed.
Yeah. So this is actually one of my favorite chapter. And before we talk about Napoleon Hill, I think that Winston Churchill, he said, "I will persist until I succeed." And and Napoleon Hill, in the sense that he's talking about, the persistence is coming from back up by the great desire, the great purpose. Because, you just cannot persist on having a cup of coffee or go to eat lunch today. Something that have to be larger than life. Something that the ultimate aim. What Napoleon Hill said, that the chief aim. And you have to have something that you aim at. And for anything, the desire you have within you, it have to back up by the actions, and action will the one that the movement will get you there. And then it's interesting, you're talking about failure. I think that when you persist, you head on, you keep on moving forward. Of course, you will stumble, and then if you fell down, that's a temporary defeat. You get up, dust yourself, and keep on moving. And because that's persistent, you will never lose sight of your intended outcome. Because that
so on target. I'll tell you, one of the people that helped me to learn about persistence was my husband. This man is like a weeble. He will not stay down if you knock him down. He gets up and he dusts himself off and he just keeps going over and over again. He doesn't get stopped by the walls. He doesn't get stopped by speed bumps. And if it looks like he's stopped, it's temporary. It's like he calms down or hides away for just a little while. And I'm talking just a few days. I'm not talking like me. It's turn away from whatever I looked at it as a stop. He looked at it as, I'm wounded. I'm just going to sit still for a while. I'm going to take care of what needs to be taken care of here. I'm going to take a look at what happened, and then I'm going to go talk to somebody and see if maybe there's a different way I could do it. And I'm telling you, he's just back right up. That's it. And watching him and learning from him has been the primary reason why I've been able to learn from failure, and him telling me, because he would tell me, Charlene, you can't stop. What are you doing? Why are you stopping? I said, well, it didn't work. Well, so the look on the face, I was like, so There's no reason to stop. It was,
So
so,
that tell you that behind every great woman there is a good man. So
oh, yeah,
congratulations, you
trust me,
certainly
I
find
got one of the best. Yeah,
one of a few good men there. Congratulations.
thank you.
To those who follow you or know me,
Hmm.
at one sometime a part of my life, survival was the only thing that mattered.
Yeah.
And at time I knew that I hang on to life by the tip of my fingernails. Just like I'm on the cliffhanger and I hang it by the tip of my fingernails. But what choice do I have? Because survival was the only thing that mattered. And so now I understand the persistence and the situations. I'm the product of the situation, the circumstance that make me become who I am. The
Hmm.
persistence that I have, because I know that um, life is go on, no matter what. If I have my
Yeah,
destination,
it's
that's what
still
is.
going to happen without me. It just there's right there's that realization too. It's still going to happen without me, whether I'm in it or not.
Yeah. And then, especially at that point, I have two children too, and that the people that who are counting on me to care for them, to protect me. And, if you look at me, I'm a nice, sweet person, but
Mhm.
I'm a lioness protecting my cubs because I would draw blood if you ever attack children,
You know, I
have
believe
my children. And so that is, and it become a part of me. And I think that Napoleon Hill, the one also said, anything is the state of mind that you can cultivate. And everything about me, from the mindset to everything, that there's something coming from the cultivating. It's not just by accident.
yes, I like that. I like that. And then there comes a time, as you were alluding to, that you get out of survival mode. And that's when I got out of survival mode is when real growth started happening, because there was the letting go, there was the introspection of I'm still here. It's time for me to get back in. It's how am I going to do that? I'm different than I was before the
Mm-hmm.
situation that put me into survival mode. How does that change me and move me forward and what have you? So it's a lot of growing that happens to get past and through the survival mode into what other people call thriving. More comfortable for me is participating in my own success. And so, being in control and being a part of life again and being a part of more than just that narrow-minded, got to get through it, got to survive it, we're going to make it, we're going to be okay, that type of mentality. Now it's a more growth mentality and more open to seeing what's going to help me get where I want to go, because now I have that definite aim. Once
Mm-hmm.
again, I know what I'm going towards.
Yes.
The plan has been put into place. Other things now that are coming along, opportunities that are presenting themselves align with the plan. Therefore, I'm able to see them and take them. Yes, the money consciousness, that's what's happened to me. And my business is growing from it, and because I'm growing.
Yeah, I think that when after surviving, we want more. We want to achieve more because we are the people that thriving on chaos. And for me, just like travel on the river, when you just go it until you hit the bend of the river, you can see further, and then the further you see, the more you want to do, you want it. And so
Yes.
it's just like a destination. I have a different a intended destination, but I have the stopping stations or something that I need to recollect and just re-aimed, because
Mhm.
I don't go for the shotgun approach. I will just like aim carefully and I will take the sniper shot, because that how I am. So but
Very laser focused, right?
yes, because if I
Laser.
aim that the target I aim and that I want to hit the bullseyes, I'm not going any neighborhood nearby. I will hit right there. That's what.
Well, I'm looking at poor Crystal. I think this is her first time with the two of us. Yes, Crystal, she's on my team. You're welcome to join us. Okay, we will gladly have you as part of our team. We will be a part of your team. I thought it was. I hadn't seen you here before. I want to take a moment to welcome, yes, Haas the Bomb. Welcome, Sean. It was good to see you come in a little bit earlier. And Sean Murphy, good to see you, Lainey. Glad you're with us. Planet Upcycle. Yes, also known as Dave. Glad you're here and making your comments. SJ, good to see you here. Misa, haven't seen you here before. I want to welcome you. Cindy, always good to see you, my Kentucky gal. And Randy, glad to have you with us. Anybody who wants to jump into the open seat and join Ha and me discussing persistence, according to Napoleon Hill. We'll let Crystal in, hopefully. Uh-oh. You are stuck in cyberspace, Crystal. I'm going to recommend that you try again, refresh your browser maybe. I'd like to have you back in here. I'll go back to something else that struck me with Napoleon Hill is that, and this has happened, where you snap yourself out of your mental inertia, whatever that mental inertia is, where you're just slugging along, nothing really definitive, nothing's really happening. Maybe you're sliding back further than mediocrity. Yeah, good morning, Crystal.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having this awesome talk this morning. I don't know. I felt like I just woke up in heaven, like the angels are singing, like, hey,
what
you
a lovely
hang
thought.
In there,
What a lovely thought. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's awesome.
So what are your thoughts, other than you want to steal Ha away?
I want to steal both of you. I want both of you in my pocket.
Every weekday morning we're here, right, Ha?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I think that this is really resonating with me, just the talk in general, because I'm, I do have my own business and I'm a personal empowerment coach. And the thing that's really been very at the forefront of my thoughts recently is how I am showing up as a coach and how I've arrived at the success that I have right now. And my gosh, it's been my persistent nature. And sometimes I've noticed that I'm not able to, if I don't have fear as a motivating factor, I have to admit that I will get rather lazy, or I'll get lax, or I'll get comfortable. And so it's really important for me to keep fear, in my back pocket. So I have Ha and I have Charlene and I have fear.
Well, okay then. I'm not quite sure about that. Actually, I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, what I mean is that like I said, sometimes I can tend to get really lazy. I can tend to get very comfortable. Mm-hmm. And unless I get afraid of something, then I'm not, I'd be lying on the beach in Bali right now, not doing anything if I didn't have, fear as a motivation, fear of the loss of momentum, fear of the loss of money. And I have to admit, fear is my friend. And mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I like to wallow around in fear, but I'm saying that if I can get lazy, and I can let things fall aside. So my persistence isn't always just being motivated by my desire, because sometimes just sitting still and doing nothing, I'm perfectly fine with that, man. I will sit around and do absolutely nothing and love every single minute of it,
Uh-huh. I totally get what you're talking about. Now let's see on that end. Now let's see if I got the rest of it, which is what I'm hearing that resonates with me is that it's not the fear that something bad is going to happen. It's not the fear of the unknown, but it's the fear of not getting what I want, or not losing what I already have.
Yeah.
And that's the motivator to keep going and to keep moving. So what's happened to me is that I've reached points where I'm very, it's not that I made it, it's that, I don't have to work as hard. We've got some revenue coming in. I can relax a little bit. I can go, I can't go to Bali. Well, I can go to Bali, but I choose not to go to Bali. Instead, I decide to go down by the river or over to the lake or take a drive, whatever, okay, hubby, let's hit the road trip, and just really nothing to do with business, nothing to do with anybody else. And that's great for a day or two. And then 3 or 4, and then 5 or 6, and then 7 or 8, and that's happened. And then the fear of it's not staying in the checking account. I'm not that comfortable. It's going to go down. I'm suddenly, all of a sudden, a bill needs to be paid. Yes. So I'm moving past that. Just so you know, I've been there, and I'm not going to say I'm completely past it. I'm going to say it has been a long time since I have experienced that. And part of it has been SJ's coming out with repetition auto-suggestion, and that's part of it. I've got a mastermind group. I moderate mastermind groups. I'm inspired by their persistence to reach their goals. I'm inspired by successful people that I'm following and what they're doing, which is they'll admit that they got a little complacent. But instead of beating themselves up for being complacent, they're moving forward. So what I would do, and what that means to me is I would beat myself up and wallow in the guilt of having been I just messed myself all up. So instead, I take their cues and I learn from them. And what they've taught me is that, hey, you know what? A grown-up viewpoint, Charlene, hello, this is my talking to me, is, you took a break. It was a little long. Enough.
Yeah.
Snap out of it. Just move forward. Don't wallow. You have to recognize, acknowledge, and move forward. And that's what they've taught me. So I bring it back to that persistence is that can be the motivating factor as well.
Yes.
Help snap me out. Surround yourself with the people you want to be like. I know it was Sean had told me early on when I was started this blab, he had said, and stuck with me ever since, is that there's always somebody ahead pulling me forward. And there's always somebody in back pushing me. So I can reach forward and help them pull me, or I can look back and say, oh, you're there. I can't stop.
Yeah.
I think that Crystal have a very healthy fear, but do not let it paralyzing you, because sometimes that pick up the phone and just feel like the 2 tons of the phone that you want to pick it up. If you have a fear of pick up the phone, you have to remind you it's terrified to pick up that phone, and then you will facing the terrified of closing your business. The choice is yours. That's simple as that.
Yeah.
And then and here I want to add on your motivations. Babe Ruth said that yesterday home run won't make you a winner today. So it's every day it continue the process, because you continue to hit the home run in order for you to count on to be winning the game today.
Yeah.
Yesterday home run will not make you become a winner today.
No, it's absolutely true. And for myself, I really, I am motivated. I love my programs. I love my work. I love my writing. I love working on my blog. I love my work. That's why I work for myself. And, while I love doing nothing, I don't want to imply that I'm totally sloth-like, but I do support myself, and I do support my dreams, and I do love my lifestyle. But I'm learning it's a fine balance between, the divine feminine, this allowing energy, where it's a kind of letting letting things flow and using my intuition to guide me, and my divine masculine, which can be out of control, because whereas as much as I love doing nothing and being absolutely still, I also have to admit that I can go to the other side where I'm just constantly doing. And right now I do feel balanced. I wake up in the morning and I meditate and I spend my time, in peace. And I had a brick and mortar business, which I sold, and it was really, really great to be free of the responsibility of managing employees and trying to maintain the space. And the thing is, once I didn't have that constant drive to be on, I went to the other extreme where I traveled around the world for a year and I did, absolutely nothing. I was, like I said, in Bali, and I was in India, and I was in France, and I was just really enjoying having no responsibilities, But it's true, the necessity of needing to come back and needing to get to work, but also the need for the heart to create. I am creative. I'm highly creative, and I love connecting with people. It is a joy, but it's also, how to keep that balance, that beautiful feeling of having nothing to do and relaxing and trusting that the universe is going to, bring to me what it is I need, bring to me what it is I desire.
That's a very different energy. That's a very different energy than that is the peace of knowing that what you're working towards is coming to you, and it's coming to you because of all your efforts to this point, versus the fear of losing something, the fear of something coming up behind me that's going to catch me, or the fear of falling back to something. It's very different energy you just described.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, that the fear is always there, whether it's that negative fear. For me, I love my spiritual insights, and even that paralyzing fear, even that needs to be wielded and understood in context of why it's here. I do believe in the law of attraction, and I do believe that even my fear, even my dis-ease is meant to serve me, and it's meant for me to discover why it is I'm co-creating this with the universe. It's like, why am I paralyzed with fear? Why is it that I feel like I'm powerless? Well, it's to turn that on its head so that I can have the experience, so that God can have the experience of turning powerlessness on its head. I really, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I love my fear. It is a partnership in co-creating with me. And I have to admit, I'm very grateful for having the fear to keep me persistent in keeping myself in the money consciousness. That poverty consciousness that can come forth, that is all I need, is just one dip in the poverty pool. And then I am back on the money consciousness, man. All I got to do is dip my little toe in the poverty pool, and then then I'm back in. Like, oh yes, abundance.
That's an interesting way to put it. I don't know that I embrace fear as well. I know that I've learned persistence, and I've learned that in spite of fear sometimes, I have a tendency to get into a martyr syndrome with myself instead of a positive moving forward. So that's something that I recognize in myself. It's all in my own head.
Yeah.
Look how awesome I am because I'm getting through this,
Well, that's the only place where it's important, though. It's in your own head,
but it gets me through. So, I've never exclaimed with certainty that I have embraced fear. And I don't know that I will, though I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Mine is more, if I'm either in fear or I'm not. And fear is raising its head, and I have to decide, am I going to persist in my path, or am I going to let it stop me? There was a time when it stopped me. And today, it's not.
Yeah.
To this point, it's not. These past few years, it's not stopped me. It's come close.
Yeah.
You know, I've paused, but I've persisted through and just kept going because I knew there was more, and I had a clearer vision of what I wanted. And this past year and a half, the vision has been crystal clear. Got it written down. Everybody knows this about me. It's all written down, you know, and I read it every morning and every night and all that. And it's there, and it's starting to happen now. I mean, things are in place and the vision is coming to fruition. So interesting take here, Crystal.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, Charlene. I appreciate it. And I'm having I'm a personal empowerment coach, and I have Fearless Living Boot Camp, and I think that this is why it feels so timely for me, because what we do every day is we do an affirmation that helps to affirm not our connection to fear, but the antithesis of fear, you know? So it's about using our intuition. That's one affirmation for the day. Another affirmation for the day might be the joy of planning and being resourceful. Another affirmation is about being in stillness and appreciating what being still brings to our lives. So I think that we're in day 20. This is day 21, as a matter of fact. And I think that using these affirmations consistently has been opening up been opening within myself just a really deep appreciation of my own power to overcome my fear. So when the moments arise when I feel the fear, or I feel like I'm being held back by the fear, I've developed a system. I don't know if a system isn't really the right word, but maybe it is the right word. It is a system of being able to say, okay, I'm going to sit with this fear. I'm going to, number one, feel my feelings, right? I'm not going to act like I don't feel fearful right now. I'm not going to run away from fear, because that's trying to fight fear with fear. And that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And instead, what I do is I say, okay, I feel fearful right now. What I'm noticing in my behavior is that I'm not moving forward. I'm not answering the telephone, or I'm not even putting myself in the right place at the right time. You know, missing an important call or not having enough money in my account is a sign that maybe I'm suppressing some emotion that doesn't serve me, that's not letting me be in alignment with my desires. Right? And then as I let those things come forward in myself and I acknowledge them, I give voice to them, and maybe I do my shadow work, I do my journaling, and I allow that fear to express itself. You know, the fact that I'm not persistent with, going for the goal is a clear sign that I'm out of alignment somewhere. And fear is usually at the root of why we fall out of alignment, you know?
Interesting way to put it. Where it aligns with what we've been talking about is the ability to acknowledge what's happening, recognize what works for you and what doesn't, recognize it as a barrier. To me, I call them walls, and now they're down to speed bumps. Because I've been very fortunate. Okay, superstitious, every piece of wood. To this point, I haven't hit a major wall in a long time. It has been a long time. But the speed bumps that I'm coming across, that's my moment to take a step and say, or a breath, and to say, so just as you said, who am I? What am I working towards? What's happening right now?
Yes.
Why is this happening? What can I do about it? And then I have to make a decision if I'm going to do something. And I think that's where the persistence comes in, that's motivated by the original desire.
Yeah.
I have to decide if I'm going to push through, if I'm going to learn a skill that needs to be learned, if I'm going to take a direction in the business that it shouldn't need, I didn't anticipate. I have to decide if I am going to do some changes here. Maybe I find a gap in my emotional maturity and growth, and there's something that needs working on, but it's decision time.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's really where persistence really comes in, because it's motivated by my end goal, my end desire. How willing am I to do what's necessary to get there?
Yeah, it's making me think that there needs to be a persistency consciousness where it's kind of like developing this idea of being so aligned with your desire, whether the desire is money or whether the desire is serving the community or, you know, seeing your programs thrive or seeing my clients thrive, you know, but you know, understanding that it's not, you know, the motivation can come from the persistence itself, you know, like the persistence is the motivating factor. And that's really powerful. You know, I
because
love running.
It's a habit.
Yeah, it's a habit. But, you know,
and that's what we're talking about. It becomes a
yes.
habit. We get great rewards when we have it as the habit. And that's why I've been able to push through the speed bumps now. They're no longer the big walls that stop me. And that's what I'm hearing from you, is that, you know, we're putting a lot of different words to it that make sense to us as we're describing who we are and how we feel. And ultimately, it is that the persistence is there because it's a habit. It's keeping me moving forward, regardless of the reason why at the time. I'm still moving forward towards my end goal, my ultimate chief aim, my, as you said, you know, I want this in myself and in my business. This is what I see it looking like, what I'm working towards, that sort of thing. Am I on track with where you were going?
I think so. I think absolutely. I'm giving you props for that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just making sure, checking in, because I'm trying to, I want to understand where you're coming from. You're bringing great value to the conversation today, and I want to grow from it. And the only way I can is if I try to replay it back to you the way I hear it and the way I see it. Yeah. It's the only way I'm going to grow.
I think you're a great coach.
And does it well? So everybody here who knows me knows I'm not a coach, but thank you. Moving to the side, I need to welcome some people in. Chuck finally made it. Can you try to get in the seat? Can we see if your persistence will give you great reward this morning? I knew it. Try it. He has such difficulty with his audio that sometimes it's just. Yeah, and here we go again.
Yeah, Chuck.
Yeah. You're looking good. Looking good in the scrubs, buddy. But no audio.
Yeah. And you look great in green too.
Yeah, green's your color, my friend. But we give him props for persistence.
Yes.
We don't know what's happening. I mean, it's only been the past couple of days, right? I mean, well, yeah, last week, the week before was great. And it's just been the couple of days. Personally, I'd go out and just buy new earbuds, but you know, it's just a thought. Oh,
okay,
geez.
Since we're waiting for Chuck,
here he goes.
I want to, Crystal. Seemed to me that you are a very successful young lady. However, to me that you're still searching for something. Now, what lens are you look through it? I need you to zoom it and then to take a closer look and then to distill all of the thing that you see you want and just concentrate, because you know, you're very successful, but what you said is a lot of but, and then you have a lot of thing going on. Just embrace a few things that important to you. You know, I mean, just look into the thing that you want, the thing you see, the thing you want to accomplish. And, you know, the mantra, whatever that is, because you spread yourself so thin. You have so many directions. I can feel your passion. I can see that you love all different creatures, from big to small. You want to serve But again, in order for you to get more the power punch, you need to concentrate on one or two because you just cannot punch everywhere. And that's what I call by the shotgun approach. Concentrate a few things and just put all your heart and your soul in it. And then you talk about success right now, you will achieve greater success.
I'm not sure that I'm fully in agreement with you, Ha. I'm not sure of where I have expressed that I'm spreading myself thin. I actually have expressed that I have a lot of leisure time, and which I do. I focus on only my coaching, and I lie around because I'm a lady of leisure. I do appreciate very much, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not really sure that that's appropriate for me. I actually,
sorry about that.
No. And it's really, that's one reason why I sold my business. I don't have the business any longer. And I did take a year off so that I could reevaluate my life. And the thing that I discovered was that really, in order to be persistent, in order to be good, just as you said, I have to focus my punches. So I don't punch out to the left, to the right. I aim for my targets. I work only on my things. I have my focus. And I also will never go back to being so busy that I can't rest and allow, that's part of my joy.
But see, because I'm talking about the chief aims, something that is just like you go for it with your heart and soul, because we in life we on the our journey, we want a lot of things along the road, but if we focus on a really the ultimate. See, when I said I always thinking that the ultimate goal is if you turn that into the magnificent obsessions, that is something you made it, without a doubt.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I don't mean to say that you are going berserk everything. Just pick one.
That's our Ash. Just quietly drops.
I love it. I get it. What you're saying, I get it.
Ever so gently, and then.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. You're saying the magnificent obsessions. I love that. You're saying that, when I look at my vision board, for example, I have this beautiful vision board that's, multidimensional, and it's got, all things sewn into it. I love it. I love my ideas. I love my, it's got leisure sewn into it.
It must be good. We got a baboon from Chuck. Okay, that's indicative that it was good. Fabulous. Oh, you two are fabulous.
Oh man.
Oh, so we're reaching the top of the hour. I need to stop the recording. I can keep the room open for up to 30, 40 minutes. So no worries there. The room's not going to close. We're going to still work with Chuck to see if we can't get his audio working correctly. Today we were talking about persistence and the habit of persistence. And the interesting thing is that Napoleon Hill says that those who have cultivated the habit of persistence seem to enjoy insurance against failure. And based on our discussion, I think we can all agree on that one. Yeah. So I'm going to thank everybody who's joined me in the live stream. Crystal, it was a pleasure to meet you. Chuck, thank you for trying. Always good to have you with me. Those in the comment area, it has been interesting and lovely seeing your comments and participating in the discussion that way. Great feedback and great ideas coming through. So glad you're here. I want to say that this is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Let's move forward with the day on purpose, with purpose, to grow our hearts, grow our minds, grow our businesses.